Hi guys, my name is Sagwadi Wakarabutla and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am back with a revision by Sagwi. Okay guys, we're still continuing with the law of persons. As I said to you, the law of persons is the easiest or the toughest for you. There's no in between. So I know that it's now crunch time. You guys probably have your what is it? Probably have your exam packs, but the mistake that students make is that they focus on the exam packs hoping that the questions will come as they are in the exam pack, that there will be a repetition. That is why you end up falling on your face and getting a supplementary, right? You need to use your exam pack together with your notes and your prescribed study book and your prescribed textbook. So in your prescribed textbook, you do not use the old method of studying. You do not make your own notes. You do not attempt to study the old way because there's no time now. There's less than 10 days left. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at questions. The questions are there. I've got one that's got over 200 questions. They're there and most are marked with their answers. I proved question 12 of the 2021 question paper. So what you must do when you are studying, you must study to prove the answers. That is the only way that you're going to make it, and you can make it even in a distinction. That is what helped me when I was writing the law of persons. And you need to use 3 materials, as I said: exam pack, your shortened notes, and the prescribed book. So the prescribed book is the third place you go. You only go there if the shortened notes are not making sense to you. So you will not be going there all the time, because I believe that if you did your own assignments, assignment 1 and 2, and you consulted your study book, you do not need to study the whole scope, because there are some things that will be known to you. There are some things that if you wake me up in the night and say, we are writing an exam for PVL, I'm definitely going to pass without looking at them, because I did my own assignments in my own time. So they are instilled in me. Okay. The fourth document that you need is the summary of the cases. So in the law of persons, you guys get prescribed cases. And I'm sure on Telegram and everywhere you have the updated summary of the prescribed questions. On the prescribed questions, the most important thing is the legal question, because the legal question tells you which chapter you are dealing with, okay? And the decision of the ruling, if I may say, right? So you need to have that. It needs to be updated. Okay, so we have the May-June 2021 multiple choice questions, which are, I will go to question 1. Which one of the entities is not recognized as a juristic person in our law? You need to be able to define what a juristic person is. If you know what a juristic person is, you will be enabled to rule out which one is the right answer. Now, when we look at the juristic person, legal personalities bestowed on certain associations of natural persons. The association itself gains legal personality and is called a juristic person. So we are dealing with what? Associations, right? We are dealing with associations. We are dealing, basically, if I may say, we are dealing with companies, right? And these associations that are recognized as juristic persons are associated, incorporated in terms of enabling legislation, companies, banks, close corporations, and cooperatives. Associations, especially created, are recognized as juristic person in different legislation. For example, universities, semi-state owned organizations, public corporation. Right, so let us look at the options of question 1. It says, which one of the following entities is not recognized as a juristic person in our laws? South African Airways, it's a juristic person because the characteristics of a juristic person include what? Semi-state owned organizations. Number 1, South African Airways is 90% owned by the South African, so it's semi-state owned, so this is recognized as a juristic person. VBS Mutual Bank, banks are recognized as juristic person according to the characteristics of juristic person. University of Namibia University is recognized as a juristic person as an association that is especially created. And then we have Makwala and Sons Partnership. It is not recognized. It is not recognized, though. It is not. It is not recognized. So the answer here is Makwala and Sons Partnership. It does not say Makwala and Sons dealership in sync. That is incorporated. Then we were gonna say yeah, but this partnership here, it's not incorporated, it's just a partnership. You get it? So this is what is not juristic person. So as I said, you need to prove. You must always fight to prove. Did you hear me? Okay. Prove. Now we move on to question 2. Choose the only correct statement below. A presumption of death can be pronounced in terms of the common law if. So you are going to look at what are the characteristics or what are the facts when it comes to the presumption of death? What is the procedure? How do we get there? How long does it take for a person to be presumed dead? What is needed? How much time is needed for that to happen? And then you'll be able to answer this. This is very, very simple, okay? So I'm gonna skip it. Which one of the following attributes or factors is not an attribute or the factor that determines a person's status? Here's one. Status. Status is derived from the Latin word "aster." That status is contained with a person standing in the common law. Standing is determined by various attributes of a person or the condition in which he finds himself and to which law attaches its consequences. Right? So under the topic of status, these are the important factors you need to know. The definition and the situations. Those situations, you must know them. What are those various characteristics? What are they that determine a person's status? We have domicile, we have extramarital birth, we have youth, we have physical illness or incapacity, mental illness or incapacity, intoxication, prodigality, insolvency. 8 of them. 8 of them. So you hear, if you already know the characteristics of what the status of a person is determined, how it's determined, then you will know. You know that it's got nothing to do with their education. So if it's got nothing to do with their education, it also has nothing to do with their job. So occupation being the right answer in this case, right? What is legal personality? What is legal capacity? What is legal capacity, guys? Answer below. How? Which one? Question 7. I skipped question 6. Domicile. The following statement deal with domicile. Indicate which one of the statement is incorrect. The place where a person permanently reside always why are you doing this to me, English? Coincides with his or her domicile. So at the end of, not at the end of this video, in the next video, or yeah, in the next video, or before the end of Sunday, I'm gonna write down the topics that you must look at. But I think you already see that you need to look at status, the beginning of birth, presumption of death. Chapter 1 is a must, because that's where you get all those divination. Domicile being the most tricky one. That's what you, when you look at domicile, please look at domicile. Even domicile was the one that was showing me flames. I don't know how. So look at that. Look at domicile. They will bring 5 questions for domicile and you don't even get one right, and you don't need that. Which one of the following options cannot be used by a man to rebut the presumption of dance of paternity? So also the problem with PVL is the English. If you don't know Sekgowa, hey, hey, you PVL now. Which one of the following options can be used by a man to rebut the presumption of paternity? Proof that is sterile, evidence that he has used contraceptives, DNA test that indicate whether he or she is the father, proof that he did not have sex with the child's mother when the child could have been conceived. So which one of the options can be used to rebut, but cannot be used by a man to rebut the presumption? What does rebut mean when as well? Which, like, in other words, even when you read the question, you must hear it. So which one cannot be used? Which excuse, according to me, thereby rebut, or you can remove rebut? Hey, which excuse or which point cannot be used by a man to say, but I'm not the child? He cannot say, Mina use the condom, and then that's it. He can't. So evidence that he used contraceptive is invalid. He can only use the fact, he can prove that maybe he's sterile. He can do a DNA to prove that, no, I'm not the father. But he cannot say, no, and mazi. He can't say that. Or he can't say, no, datengila vas. It doesn't work like that. Did you hear the English there when it lost you? Yo. The following statements deal with children born of unmarried in parents. Correct, indicate the only correct option. When an unmarried parent dies, he or her state is not responsible for the child's maintenance. Wrong. When you die as a parent, you must always be taking care of your children. So if this means that even when you are dead, as long as if you were working, the kids can get your money from the pension fund and all that. So you still maintain them, whether you were married or not. A child who is born of unmarried parents cannot inherit interstate from both parents. An unmarried father must, that's number 3, an unmarried father must approach the High Court for an order to confer parental responsibilities and rights on him. A child born of unmarried parents may never be adopted by his or her biological father. It indicates the correct option only. I said number 1 is incorrect. I'm saying number 3 is incorrect. And an unmarried father must approach the High Court for an order to confer parental. Immediately you impregnate somebody, you have a kid with them, and they say, when you're the father, and if the father wants to prove whatever, you get rights and responsibilities to the child immediately. You don't need a judge for that. A child born of both parents may never be adopted by his or her biological father. Incorrect. The correct answer is a child who's born of unmarried parents can inherit interstate from both parents. This means that if this parent has a child and then he dies and he has no will, the child can still inherit in the normal way. In the normal way, I mean, where you died, now they start to see the child, the grandparents, they give everybody their part, everybody that you could have been supporting and whatever. But the first people to inherit are your kids. They inherit interstate. Whether you have that means interstate, that means you have no will. It's succession, my baby. second year. But anyway, that is all for this video. I am running a bit late. I love you so much. Mwah! I'll see you in the next one. All the best.